So, you're looking for a new bakkie, and specifically a supercab. Now in South Africa, we know that there are two main options that everyone looks for. This is the Wildtrak supercab from Ford, and this, the Legend supercab from Toyota. And today we're here to see which one should be your pick. I'm Mateo, that's Eugene, that's Letu, and this is TVEC, the home of extravagant reviews.
4 liters of fuel. Eugene, your pick. Now, the first thing that'll be on your list is this, the Toyota Hilux Legend. The reason why is because it's one of the best-selling bakkies in the world and in South Africa. And I mean, look at the color.
Yeah, look at the color. Look at the color.
I mean, it's a great color.
It looks like it came from the farmlands.
But that's towards its market. Why are you here?
Because my car looks better.
Please.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Does it look like it came from the Burki's farm?
It's dirty.
It might be dirty, but looks more classy.
Okay.
I have that.
You might as well tell me why exactly. Like, tell me point for point, why do you think it's
Well,
better?
one thing I love about the new Ranger, or the current Ranger right now, is that it has a very American style.
Okay.
You can definitely tell, like, there's F-150 cues from this, and from the front, it looks more menacing than this old thing.
More menacing.
Yes.
I feel like this is more menacing. There's a lot more black over here. You got this black over here. You got these black rims over here. And I'm not gonna lie, pairing all these black bits with the black bits in the headlights, the aggressive styling on the front, and the fact that the entire hood just looks a lot more aggressive. It looks angry.
There's nothing aggressive about this.
Come on.
There's nothing aggressive. I see this, I'm like, yeah, it's traffic.
And yours looks like a cinder block.
This looks like a cinder block.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It
What
does.
have you been looking at?
I'm looking at the straight lines over here. Strong straight lines, sure, but they're straight lines. Those ones are at least aggressive. A designer designed them. This one just looks like they threw it in ChatGPT and they spat out a bakkie.
Now you know you're lying. Now you know you are lying. This is way more in your face. And plus, when you're spending this much money on a car, don't you want it to be in your face?
But it's in your face.
Yes or no?
It's in your face.
Yes or no?
It's in your face.
Yes or no, please.
It's in your face, but the way that a cinder block is in your face.
I don't know why you keep calling it a cinder block.
Because look at it. Look at it.
You have a farm equipment right there.
Farm equipment that at least looks like it was designed properly.
No, it has
I mean,
not
look
been
at
designed.
these. Look at these lines here. Solid, very, very solid.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't like the M2, right?
True.
Those have solid lines like the M2. This flows. You've got flow coming in over here. It's not too solid on the side over here. It's just subtle.
But when it gets,
little lines.
you're spending almost R1 million on these two cars. Don't you want to stand out a bit?
That's why you get the color.
No, the color might stand out, but it's the same Hilux that we've known for 20 years.
But that's why you get the color.
No.
And it's a reliable car.
Okay, yeah, it might be reliable. That is true. That is
It's
true.
a reliable car.
But I have a better engine.
Your engine won't work after like 2,000
I have
kilometers.
more power.
Which won't work after 2,000
I
kilometers.
still have more power.
To go where? To the mechanics.
I might go to the mechanics, but you still got to go back to the farmlands.
And I'll get there. This is the most important part to this car because it's the engine, and it's a Toyota engine, which means not only is it renowned for its reliability, but it's solidly powerful. It's got 150 kilowatts of power. The rest of the stats are going to be presented right here. But I have to admit,
I have more power. I have more power.
sure, yeah, but it's only 5 kilowatts.
In the words of Jeremy Clarkson, more power is better.
Nah, please,
More power.
Please. 5 kilowatts though.
You can feel it.
5 kilowatts.
And I have an extra turbo.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I have a better gearbox.
But this one will last longer.
But this is better on the highway.
And this one is more trusted. It's trusted by more customers, trusted by more South Africans because it's better selling. That's why you go for this.
But you'll wake up tomorrow morning without an engine.
You know what? And you are going to have maybe 1 or 2 gearbox problems faster than this one would.
But I'll still have my car. You won't have a car.
Now, as the middle ground man between both vehicles, I'm here to give you a little bit of a rundown of both. Now I'm going to compare the fuel economy. As you can see, this is the fuel economy of the 2-liter bi-turbo diesel in this Ford Ranger, and this is the fuel economy of the 2.8 GD6. This is a world-renowned engine, very well known, and as Leto has said, super reliable. It's going to last until all of your family generations are dead. It's going to be here forever and ever and ever if it's not taken away out of your hands. Now this though, you can get a much more powerful 3-liter V6 in it, and that is an engine that most people actually opt for because of its power and its torque, and that is what made that car impressive. Now the Bar TDI is very, very durable for a Ford engine, which is a good point for it, and being a bi-turbo means that it has a better torque and power reserve down low compared to something like that. But let us know down below, what would you pick? Now, speaking about the back end of the vehicles, we have to see how practical they are. At the end of the day, they are bakkies used by companies, by work members, by people who want to carry things around. That is the whole purpose of them.
Yep.
And so, how practical is your Ford Ranger?
Well, this is the payload, as you can see. And when you look inside here, you actually have a spare tire, which actually does show how practical the car is. And you have enough space to carry your stolen Hilux engine as well.
It actually seems really practical. Very spacious, very easy to get down.
Yeah.
It's actually quite low, so it seems like it'd be easy to load things into the back as well. And even some small details, you have a Ford badge on the back there, which is quite cool. And one last thing that I have to mention, you've got a step,
You have some steps.
which is cool, which makes that piece cooler than the back piece of the Hilux. Continuing with the talk of practicality, we are now over to the Hilux. Letu, tell me how practical is your Hilux?
Well, here's the payload, alright, over here, and you can see that it's pretty similar to that of the Ranger. Now, on top of that, with the reliability that you have, you obviously know that this car will be able to do whatever it is that you need to be able to do. But, we actually took it out, but there was a sign that normally would go across the width of the windscreen at the front, and it very easily, comfortably fits inside there, so you can pretty much fit whatever it is. And that's the added benefit of supercabs, is that you can fit more than what you'd be able to in another.
Yes, and specifically, we even tested Eugene in the back of both, because you guys know that he fits in the back of both, and he fits quite comfortably. Now, this does not have a Toyota emblem on the back there, nor does it have a little step there, but it actually is quite practical. One complaint I do have is that this does feel a bit more old school when you're actually letting it down because of just the metal links, whereas that has a wired connection to bring it down a little bit easier. Now, actually moving on to the interior, we are starting off with the Ford Ranger Wildtrak Super Cab, and in the back here you actually have quite decent space. You also have some space in the door cards here to store some stuff. You've got some space over here behind the glove box, and you've even got a USB and USB-C charger in the back. Now, that is somewhat useful and somewhat not useful because these aren't actually seats, so you can't actually sit here legally unless you're being transported illegally in the back end. However, the Ranger does have some superior interior quality with beautiful leather, soft touch on the dash as well as on the door, and this beautiful orange stitch that runs on these comfortable seats, on the door card, and even on that fabulous steering wheel.
But something I also really love about this car is the technology. Compared to that dinosaur over there, one, the infotainment system is better because it is more bigger. That's number one. Connectivity will be better. And this is also wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, because in Toyota, obviously we understand how they cheap out in most stuff. Also, when it comes to physical buttons, I like how this is laid out more. You also get a wireless charging pad. And in general, the cabin is just a much better feel than the Toyota.
And I have to mention, you even have cooler cup holders.
You do.
Moving on to the interior of the Toyota Hilux Legend, I have to start off at the rear end here. Now, this is a Super Duty, as we have already said, or Super Cab, I should say. And it actually back here has more or less the same legroom and same headroom as you have over there, more or less the same capacity. It is slightly more comfortable because you do have a backrest that is soft here, and the entirety of this back deck is also in this carpentry material. However, if you lift here, you have some practicality, but it is not as accessible nor as large as the Ford's back practicality. And overall, I think that the Ford is just a bit more newer and a bit more premium feeling, despite this having really good seats.
To be fair though, this is an older car. When I say that, I don't mean in terms of model year and whatnot. So the new Toyota Hilux was unveiled a couple of weeks ago, and we expected that to be in the country in a few months, even as early as maybe
January.
Q1. So yeah. January, February, somewhere around there. And we'll definitely be on the channel as soon as we can get our hands onto that. But while we are here still, even though it's an older model,
Yeah.
that we're looking at, it still is fairly modern. You do have all the normal modern accessories
Yes.
that you're used to. Things like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto do come in here, though it is wired, unfortunately. And you do still have all the other creature comforts that you normally get, like your charging in here. Although it's 12-volt socket, not any of the USB options available.
And I have to say quickly, at the back you don't have any charging ports either, in which the Ford you do have.
Yeah.
Now, you do have a smaller screen in here, and it's older and not as good, just to put it that way.
It's got buttons.
It's got buttons as well.
Yeah.
And the gauge cluster is from 2006.
But on top of that, the gauge cluster then would have less chance of any sort of malfunctions. Right?
Yeah, there will be
Ford
no
hasn't had that
technological.
problem.
Yeah, Ford hasn't had that, but we are just saying.
Exactly.
And what I can say about the Toyota is, again, the interiors are made to be durable, but at the end of the day, with the new model coming out, we are expecting to have actual digital screens for the gauge cluster and a slightly bigger infotainment screen, which we'll be looking forward to because it needs it. Now for final verdict on the Ford that Eugene brought and the Toyota that Leto brought. Which one should be your pick? Well, I think it actually just comes down to what you prefer. Do you prefer the slimmer styling, the more aerodynamic lookingness of the Hilux with the more known look to it? Or do you prefer the broad, wide, American-looking, big and beefy Ford Ranger? But on top of that, what do you prefer from an engine standpoint? Do you enjoy the durability, the longevity of the 2.8 GD6? Or do you think it's a bit too old and you'd prefer the 10-speed 2-liter bi-TDI from the Ford? So I think it really comes down to what are you looking for? If you're looking for a work vehicle that's going to last you to the end of the earth, this might have to be your option. But you want something that's a bit bigger, a bit more spacious, a bit newer inside, this might have to be your option. And if you're not sure, there's many things on the market. There's things from the Chinese, but obviously they don't have a super cab right now. And there's things from things like Isuzu. And so we want to know, what do you think is the best option down below?
We just wanted to say a huge shout out to Ford Approved. That's the used car section of Ford Santon. They're in Sunning Hill on Rivonia Drive or Rivonia Road. This video wouldn't have been possible without them. Both of the cars are available for sale. Both of them very similar price points. This one is around $500,000. This one is probably in a similar price bracket.
But we've said some stuff today.
Yeah.
Some interesting stuff. But objectively, which car is better?
That's up to you to decide. That's for you to decide. We told you what we could have, but very important, crucial point, my badge is bigger.
My badge is longer.
I think it's the thickness that matters. At the end of the day.
Anyways, I don't know what he was talking about, but we hope you guys enjoyed. Also, let us know which car would you be taking, because I know exactly where I'm standing.
And I know where I'm standing.
I don't know what he's talking about. But thank you for watching. Make sure that you hit down below, like, comment, and subscribe, because we have a lot more of these coming in the future. We hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.